Good evening, Cheryl. Gianna Marie, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you both had a pleasant day. Tonight we'll be answering questions about Karen Read and the Karen Read trials. Callie Lisa, good evening. Cheryl is ready. Gianna Marie, hello. Avery Lady, hey, hey to you as well. Hello, Will, Cheryl, and Gianna Marie, says Catalisa. I hope you, Avery Lady and Catalisa, hope you both had a terrific day today. I'm glad you could be here tonight for us, with us for trivia. We are going to be answering questions about Karen Read trials tonight. Yes, Karen Read. Kitty Coo. Good evening, Kitty Coo, and welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a great day today. Give it about another 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and then we're going to get tonight's trivia going. Wait for people to get their notifications, finish slamming their 6-pack of beer or whatever they're doing. Everybody's got their thing that they do before they start trivia. Get their notes out, smoke a bowl, whatever they have to do. They do them. Meow, says Kathy Kailisa to the Kitty Coo. Wendy, good evening, Wendy. Welcome to tonight's trivia. And Pippadot, welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you both had a terrific day today. Glad you could be here tonight. Tonight we are answering questions about Karen Read and the Karen Read trials. All the little tidbits of information about Karen Read and the wacky things in her trial. Rackard, good evening, Rackard. Hello, Will and gang. I hope I don't get blocked today. LOL. It was a mistake, Rackard. It was an honest mistake. These things do happen. And we made damn sure that, that things like that, we put other things in place. So, and you weren't blocked, you're timed out. I mean, but it's the same thing when you're, in the aspect. So, truly sorry that it happened. Purple, good evening, Purple, and welcome to tonight's trivia. We are going to get going here in about another 30 seconds, and we got Joe Tall Chief is here with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you and Purple both had a terrific weekend. Thank you for joining us tonight. All righty, 8 seconds till we get this going. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Bing! Karen Read trivia is tonight's subject matter. Karen Read. This trivia night strictly adheres to factual evidence and verified data from the FBI, Department of Justice, and Scotland Yard whenever needed. It does not include conspiracy theory, speculation, unverified claims about what may have happened. If you are seeking sensationalism or content related to similar theories, or lies spread by those who can't be bothered to even do the research on the topic, this event and topic may not be right fit for you. Neither I nor any advertisers or sponsors associated with this content shall be held responsible for individuals under the age of 17 accessing this material. No need to go into why, but it's not our fault. Additionally, we are not liable for comments or live chat messages, as they do not necessarily reflect our views or opinions. This is not for YouTube. I have quite a few moderators here that will keep control of this. It's for the other venues where moderation is hit or miss. But with that said, let's move on. This program documents actual crimes and offenses by criminals. Some of the content covered here may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. With that said, question number 1 is now on your screen. What type of plastic fragments were found in the snow near O'Keefe's body? Was it A, a piece of a chip bag, B, evidence bags and tags, C, parts of a broken taillight, or D, broken Christmas decorations? And yes, I am aware that there is an extra A in the first option. Some of these mistakes don't get caught right away, even after I go through them one by one to try to clean them up. I still find mistakes here and there. I am human, and therefore I am flawed. What type of plastic fragments were found in the snow near O'Keefe's body? And you will note from the trivia and how it is formatted, this is how the trivia is kind of looking for going forward. This is not the final variation of this. I've been tweaking the actual format of how it looks and displayed on the screen. Now that I have the ability to change the size of the box, like right now, my little window right here, this is now twice the size that it used to be. Before, I was only able to have a little tiny square in the corner. Now I can have circles and ovals and all kinds of silly shapes. Yes, even stars. And I can make them larger or smaller, or twist them around, or move them into different corners of the screen. But as I play with it to try to find a format that's going to fit the best, along with putting photos and questions on the screen, I will be playing with the actual layout here. So right now this is the layout for this week, and most likely for next week, while I play with the whole entire thing. I love some advances, and some advances, really suck, but they take away features. But now, at least it's gotten a little bit better. All right. Question number 1. The correct answer is C, as in cat. Parts of a broken taillight were found in the snow near O'Keefe's body. Parts of a broken taillight. Question number 2. What type of DNA was found on the broken taillight of Karen Read's car? Was it A, mitochondrial DNA of O'Keefe, B, mitochondrial DNA of a dog, C, mitochondrial DNA of Alex Cox, or D, mitochondrial DNA of Reed's? Question number 2 of 20. What type of DNA was found on the broken taillight of Karen Read's car? Yes, right, Cart. I'm playing with it. I could make the entire thing the size of the where you see Karen Read behind my little window there. I could make my little square the size of that, or split the entire thing 50-50 between the question and the answers, right down the middle. Make it half of the screen if I want, or the whole screen, and then make the entire questions, the opposite. Do all kinds of things like this, and then move it back down. There's a lot of things I can do. I don't know if that's even given it. I'm not even given enough time for it to put in the window I'm in right here. I can put the question that small or bigger. I'm playing around with it, and I can move it anywhere. I can move to any corner of the trivia, to left side, right side, up, down. I'm just trying to find a way that makes it look better on actual picture. Good evening, JDR. Oh, Alex was all over this. Never know. Karen Read is trying to eat you, Will. It does look that way, doesn't it? But good evening, JDR, and welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a terrific weekend. If there's anybody else that I missed, welcome to tonight's trivia. All right, question number 2. The correct answer is A as in apple. O'Keefe's DNA was found on the parts of the taillight that were still attached to Karen Read's car. O'Keefe's DNA was found on Karen Read's car, on the broken taillight. Not the piece, well, on the pieces, but the pieces that were still attached to her car when they went to her home. Question number 3 of 20. What did the black box in the dash computer reveal about Karen Read's vehicle activity? Was it A, it ran over someone? B, it reached 74% throttle? C, Karen Read is a terrible driver? Or D, Karen Read speeds a lot? Question number 3 of 20. What did the black box in the dash computer reveal about Karen Read's vehicle activity? Question number 3 of 20. Smoke them if you got them. All right, question number 3. The correct answer is B as in boy. Her car reached 74% throttle. And the moments after, they believe the timeline of when O'Keefe was hit. Shortly thereafter, Karen Read's car, after it left the house where the after party was, reached 74% throttle after leaving the house. So, yeah, that sounds like an innocent person who has nothing to run from. Did you know? Oh, question number 4, sorry. What was the unique and rather strange about the forensic expert's attire during the trial? Was it A, matching clothing O'Keefe wore? B, he wore a really bad wig? C, he wore So that's what it should be. See, I told you it's another mistake. Just a t-shirt and boxers only. Or D, he wore a pantsuit like Karen Read. Question number 4 of 20. What was unique about and rather strange about the forensic expert's attire during the trial? Sleazy Moves, good evening. Welcome to our trivia night. I hope you had a terrific weekend, Sleazy Moves. There are some who don't believe the evidence, says JDR. There are some people that even if they were standing right next to the individual and they watched them commit the crime itself, would still not believe that the other person committed the crime. And yeah, it's true. JDR, there's people who don't believe the evidence. They believe that she's being set up. They have alternative theories about the entire events of that night. Kelly P. Good evening, Kelly P. And welcome to our trivia night. All the questions tonight are on Karen Read trials. Karen Read and her trials. Question number 4. The correct answer is A as in apple. The forensic expert dressed up in the same exact clothing that O'Keefe wore the night that he was ran over and murdered. The exact same clothes. Well, not the exact same clothes, but the exact same type of clothes, same type of pants and shoes, shirt and jacket, everything dressed exactly like O'Keefe did the night that he was murdered. Why? I don't know. He could have worn just his regular business attire, but he didn't. That's rather unique and strange. Question number 5. What was the defense critique of the damaging expert reenactment that night O'Keefe was murdered? What was their defense's critique of it? Was it A, they argued the 144,000 clause? B, they raised no argument at all? C, they argued it wasn't Read? Or D, they attacked the scientific rigor? Question number 5 of 20. What was the defense critique to the damaging expert reenactment the night O'Keefe was murdered? Reichart says, by the way, who is Karen Read? She's a cop killer. Allegedly. Let me make sure I say that. Allegedly. Question 5 of 20. Oh my God, Karen Read is eating me again. All right. The correct answer for question number 5 is D as in dog. They attacked the scientific rigor of the expert's testimony in the reenactment of what took place that night. They questioned everything about not only his credentials, his education, the scientific rigor of the reenactment of it all. Did you know during the first trial, the search terms Karen Read guilty, death penalty Read, and what prison Karen Read were trending more than Elvis Presley or the Pope or the Pope's health? during the first trial. Karen Read guilty, death penalty Read, and what prison Karen Read were the trending search topics on Google. More. Hold on. I had a stupid pop-up at a closeout. We're trending more on Google, more than Elvis Presley or the Pope's health. Question number 6. After attacking the actual evidence at the scene of the crime, the defense shifted to what? To explain evidence at the home in the snow. Was it A, insanity defense? B, it was planted by someone? C, it was just garbage, not garage, garbage. See, there's another error. That's 3. Or D, it was evidence of another car. Question number 6 of 20. After attacking the actual evidence at the scene of the crime, the defense shifted to what? To explain the evidence at the home in the snow. But even so, have his DNA on the taillight, I'd say inside the vehicle or at the doors, but taillight. So, with JDR, and for everyone else listening, to answer JDR's last question, when law enforcement comes up to your car after they make a stop, most law enforcement agencies are trained to touch either the tail light or the back of the car before they come to the window to answer questions or to ask for your driver's license or anything at all. And they kind of went in that direction. Like, that's why his DNA may have been on the tail light, because he touched it at some point, because he's a law enforcement officer, because he was trained, and it becomes like a sixth sense to him. It's like, okay, we touch it anyways. That was where they were kind of going with it when they attacked it. So he's a law enforcement officer. That's what he does. It's all bullshit, but sorry. Sprinkled Donut. Good evening, Sprinkled Donut. Question number 6. After attacking the actual evidence at the scene of the crime, the defense shifted to what? To explain the evidence at the home in the snow? The correct answer is B, as in boy. They tried to then shift to it was planted. The evidence was planted at the scene. Question number 7. What phrase did multiple witnesses testify or give written statements Karen Read said repeatedly? Was it A, O'Keefe deserved it? B, I hit him? C, best $50 I ever spent? Or D, his friends killed him? Question number 7 of 20. What phrase did multiple witnesses testify or give written statements Karen Read said repeatedly? Tonight, I am drinking Mango Chainsaw. Liquid death. The best kind of death. Liquid death. They should sponsor me, but they haven't. I drink 16 to 17 cans of their water per week. I'm not kidding. Every time I go golfing, I take, usually about 8 of them with me. And I put them in my little cooler bag. Ooh, Pippadot is having peach tea. Yum, yum. Yum, yum, get you some. Question number 7. The correct answer is B as in boy. Multiple witnesses testified or gave written statements that Karen Read said, "I hit him." So she admits to hitting him, but she wasn't there and the evidence was planted. That seems to contradict itself, doesn't it? Question number 8. What did the defense allege about the lead investigator's conduct? Was it A, he was jealous of Karen's fame? B, he wanted to date Karen? C, misconduct? Or D, he was a racist? Question number 8 of 20. What did the defense allege about the lead investigator's conduct? It is almost 90 degrees where Joe Tallchief is in the great state of Minnesota. JDR says even her sister says she said it. Let's see. Well, today it only got up to, yesterday it got up to 102 here. Today it got up to 85. But it's not it's 85 now. We got about another hour before it hits the high temp of the day. Because you have to understand, we live in between, and where we are situated, we're in between the Rockies and the Cascades. So the noon is not the hottest part of the day. It's when just before the sun starts to go over the Cascade Mountains, because we get the thermal heat off of the damn desert floor, which sucks. I've never heard of a cop talk so foul and nasty as he did about Karen Read. It's hot in California today. I'm not ready for summer, says Sprinkled Donut. I'm not ready for summer either. But question number 8, the correct answer is C as in cat. They said that they alleged that the lead investigator had committed misconduct. He definitely had some choice words about her, didn't he? Question number 9. What did Karen Read say knowingly in a recorded interview with police? Was it A, I should have shot him instead? B, the devil made me do it? C, Lori Vallow did it, not me? Or D, what if I clipped him in the knee? End quote. I'm sorry, mistake number 4. No quotation marks after the word knee. Doesn't usually get up to 90 there until August. Yeah, July and August are the hottest parts of the year for where I live here. What did Karen Read say knowingly in a recorded interview with police? Question number 9 of 20. 69. Palm 69. Good evening, brethren. Now I've got that song stuck in my head. For all those who know this song by Ministry, Palm 69. Welcome, congregation. Pippadot, it's only 73. Pippadot is not bad. All right, question number 9. The correct answer is D, as in dog. What if I clipped him in the knee? Trying to explain away the damage to her car and how she may have actually hit him. Maybe I bumped into him. Again, trying to explain away her guilt. Number 10. What defense did Karen Read's defense team work a lot on but never file for her defense to the charges? Was it A, self defense claim, B, insanity defense, C, he needed killing defense, or D, Lori Vallow's 144,000 veil defense? What defense did Karen Read's defense team work a lot on, but never file for her defense to the charges? It is humid where Joe Tall Chief is. Well, Joe Tall Chief, is there water anywhere near you? That's where a lot of humidity comes from. Dun-dun-dun. I joke. I'm just joking, Joe Tall Chief. Humidity, yes. I would believe it. I remember spending summers at my grandmother's home in Little Falls, Minnesota, and the humidity in the summertime was just sometimes unbearable. But then, because you're just a kid, we would go down to the Mississippi and sit on the banks of the Mississippi and fish all day long. Or we had a train trestle that we used to climb out on and walk about halfway down and then, shimmy down the girder and then sit on the concrete in the middle of the Mississippi River on the train trestle's foundation and fish all day long, even though the humidity was unbearable sometimes. We did it over and over again. Why? I don't know. But we'd always get up and leave before the mosquitoes took off with us, picked us up and flew off with us. The mosquito, the Minnesota state bird. You love Little Falls. My grandmother used to be the one woman post office for Little Falls, Minnesota. I know that place like the back of my hand, even to this day. All right, question number 10. The correct answer is A, as in apple. They worked on a self-defense claim for her, but never filed the motion of self-defense. They only filed the defense of not guilty. But they had worked on the self-defense claim. As according to someone who is familiar with the actual legal team, the defense team itself, in the first trial. That is our first 10 questions. But did you know a vendor from Boston, Massachusetts was selling a t-shirt during the first trial with a hangman's rope and the words inside the rope that said "Cop Killer Justice" with Karen's picture on the back of the shirt? That was during the first trial. A vendor from Boston, Massachusetts was selling that t-shirt with the hangman's noose, and the inside of it said "Cop Killer Justice." As normal, it is our break time. We've now reached that point where we take a break. You do whatever you want to do for the next 7 minutes. If you want to stick around for the next 7 minutes, don't have anything you need to do, like shotgun a beer, smoke a bowl, shotgun a fifth of whiskey. I don't know what people do. Do whatever they do. But otherwise, I'm going to go over some missing and endangered people from across the United States. And then after we're done with that, there'll still be a little bit of time left for a break, but with no more interruptions. I do this with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. the Doe Network, the Charlie Project, the FBI, local law enforcement, along with NAMUS. And together we aim to shine a light on these cases, support the families impacted, and keep their stories alive in hopes of bringing a resolution. Our first missing person case tonight is Tara Jane Sullivan. She is age 47 right now. Her birthday is later in the year. She was last seen on 4/11 of 2023. She disappeared from Weston, Wisconsin. She is 5'7", 150 to 160 pounds. She has green eyes. She has blonde hair, but she often colors it red as or burgundy color, like in a picture in the upper right-hand corner. She has no known scars or tattoos and no known medical issues. Sullivan was last seen in Weston, Wisconsin on April 11, 2023. On April 18th, someone found her iPhone at the dead end of Ringo Avenue and turned it into the police. The phone was intact and still turned on. When the police went to her home to give her the phone back, they noticed the garage door was damaged, as if a car had been driven through it from the inside outward. Sullivan wasn't there and has never been heard from again. She left all of her belongings behind. The same afternoon, police came to Sullivan's home, her white 2017 Buick Enclave with the custom license plate number of MAT633 was found abandoned on Old Highway 29, south of State Highway 29 in Shawano County, Wisconsin, about 30 miles east of Sullivan's home. There was no indications of a struggle at the scene. Sullivan's purse was inside the car with her driver's license and wallet and credit cards in it. The keys to the car were left in the cup holder. A photo of the Buick was posted with this case summary. It's just a basic white Buick Enclave, but it's probably not important to the actual case itself. At the time of her disappearance, Sullivan lived alone in a rented duplex and kept to herself. She's described as a very private person who wasn't dating anyone at the time of her disappearance. She had been a real estate agent, but didn't renew her license in 2022, meaning she wasn't able to legally sell homes. She got work taking photos of homes for realtors, and her father may have also been helping her pay her rent. The missing case was updated on May 29th of 2029 after new information came forward. Take a long, hard look at the photos here of the way she looks different in each and every one, with braided hair, more teased out hair, and straighter hair. Again, she also dyes her hair red or burgundy color. If you know anything about what happened to her, you can call the Marathon County Sheriff's Office at 715-261-1200. The updates that made this case update on May 29th of 2025 were additional tips that were called in. Let me make sure that everyone understands. I said that the Buick Enclave in white in color is just a basic SUV. When they found the keys in the cup holder, the car still had plenty of gas in it, almost between a quarter and a half a tank of gas. So the car was very operable, had no flat tires or anything at all. It's as if somebody parked it alongside of the road and then walked away from it, got in another vehicle, whatever it may have been. They'd have no idea why she did not renew her real estate license and why she decided to go the route she was of just working for other, real estate agents. She wasn't highly successful in the real estate market selling homes, but she was nowhere near being a failure at it either. If her father was helping her pay her bills, we can't ask him because unfortunately he died of a heart attack shortly after she disappeared. So we don't know for sure. And her father didn't keep like a checkbook, so he would have wrote it down, or there'd be a carbon copy, or the bank would have records of it. He was one of these individuals who didn't trust banks and dealt with cash only. Didn't even own a credit card in his name. But if she did leave with somebody else, it had to be voluntary. Why did she back out of her garage, with her SUV? Well, we don't know. Again, everything that she owned was left behind as if she was going to return. But in May of this year, the updates were additional tips that came in on her disappearance, where she may have been sighted after the disappearance, about approximately 8 months afterwards, after the last date that she was known to have been seen. She very well could be out there and was just tired of the life that she was living. People do this. Over 1 million people in America disappear every year, and they just walk away from their lives, or they're found, at some point later on. So it doesn't mean that anything, terrible has happened to Tara. Again, if you know anything about where she may be today, you can call 715-261-1200. That is the Marathon County Sheriff's Office, and you can leave a tip with them. I cannot guarantee with any sheriff's department that you can leave an anonymous tip. They are not on the network for anonymous tip receivers. But if you know anything else, and maybe you're in a different jurisdiction, you could be in Hennepin or some other county in Minnesota, you can leave a tip with your local law enforcement if you know where she is or have seen her. Next missing person case is April Nicole Williams. She vanished when she was 3 months old. She vanished December 2nd, 1983 from Washington, D.C. Obviously, a baby, you don't have a height or a weight approximately at 3 months of age for her. Black eyes, black hair, no known scars or medical conditions at the age of 3 months of old. April was last seen in Washington, D.C. on December 3rd, 1983. She and her mother, Eleanor Marie Williams, were en route by bus to Suffolk, West Virginia to see Eleanor's boyfriend in Kansas when they had a 3-hour layover at a trailway station in Washington, D.C. A woman Eleanor didn't know asked to hold the baby. Still holding the baby, the woman left and walked into the direction of a nearby Hardee's restaurant, ostensibly to get a soda. She never returned, and she and April have never been seen again. A sketch of April's abductor is posted in this case summary. She is described as an African-American woman in her 20s, 5'3" tall, with red braided hair in 1983. Obviously not going to be much of a help today, but it may jar someone's memory. She used the first name of Latoya. April would be around 47 years of age as of 2024. Investigators believe whoever kidnapped April probably wanted to raise her as their own child. Her case remains unsolved. This is what April would look like in 2024. The chances are extremely good that April is alive and well today and living in the U.S., but doesn't know that she was abducted at the age of 3 months of age. If you know anything, you can call, and you can remain anonymous at this number. You can call the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department at 202-727-9099, or you can file an online missing persons tip at the Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Again, the likelihood is that April is approximately 47 years of age today, and she wouldn't even know that she was, necessarily abducted, because she was only 3 months of age, when she was taken. And the mother was cleared of all wrongdoing and everything else, and it destroyed, April's mother after the fact. She has since passed away, but April still has extended family out there that are that are wanting to get closure in this case, and no one has given up on trying to find April in all these years. The family has been very diligent every year, making sure that wanted posters and tip lines and everything else have been updated, along with the FBI and the Washington Metropolitan Police Department in DC. This is not something where it's like, hey, she was a bad mommy and she just let someone walk off with her kid, or she did something else. That's not the case here. And April probably was raised again and doesn't even know her name. It was April. She thinks it was something else, but this is what she would have looked like as of last year, 2024. Break time is not over with yet. You still have time left before the second half of the trivia. If you enjoyed how the first half of trivia went and you want to see more, give this a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to this YouTube channel so you will get notifications of when the next new content comes out. But otherwise, trivia night is every single Sunday at the same time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 o'clock Mountain, 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock in the Eastern Time Zone, or 12 midnight in the UK. Well, the good thing is that we know about when it comes to April. Not that this is really a good thing, but it is. Her DNA has never shown up as a murdered individual, or her DNA has never popped up in the database for anyone who has been arrested and convicted of a felony. So there's that. You have 1 minute left to break. 1 minute. So if you're going to shotgun that beer or smoke that bowl, you better do it quick. Or make a sandwich or use the bathroom, whichever you might want to do. It's up to you. Your choice. It's your life. I couldn't imagine ever losing a child like that, or ever losing a child, period. I mean, I lose my mind whenever I can't find my son, and he's really good at hiding. That boy can squirm his little self into all kinds of places you wouldn't think that he'd be able to fit. And we're back. Without further delay, let's get back to our normal programming. Question number 11 of 20. And I will get myself in my little window here in a second. There we go. What is one of the most disturbing parts of Karen Read's behavior in court in each of her trials? Was it A, she smiles and laughs a lot? B, she just doesn't seem to care? C, it's a fashion show for her, or D, she listens to music on her beats. Question number 11 of 20. What is one of the most disturbing parts about Karen Read's behavior in court in each of the trials? You went running around looking cool for the cameras like Daniel. Question number 11 of 20. 11 of 20. No matter how an accused appears in court, there's going to be people critical of their appearance. True. Question number 11, though. It doesn't seem to be so much of a fashion show as in she smiles and laughs a lot in court. A as in apple. A lot of people who have observed the court TV proceedings and the other stations that have been carrying the live coverage of the show of the trials have all said it seems that she's really enjoying herself. She smiles and carries on and laughs with her attorneys during breaks. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be like, hey, this is a serious matter. We're talking about someone who was murdered. Question number 12. After the first trial, USA Today asked those that followed the trial how percentage of them thought she was guilty. How many? Again, there's mistake number 5. What percentage thought that she was guilty? Was it A, 78%, B, 34%, C, 65%, or D, 12%? What percentage of USA Today readers, I'm guessing this would most likely be an online poll, that asked what percentage of them thought that she was guilty? She kind of reminds you of Lori. Yeah, little. Some channels are raising money for her defense. There are people who are raising money for Josh Duggar to get a new attorney right now. I actually stumbled across one of the live streams last night here on YouTube. It was probably it's been about 6 o'clock last night. I don't remember how long it had been. Probably about a half hour. It was into the live stream, and they had raised like a couple $100 at that point to donate. Supposedly, that's what they said. The money was going to Josh Duggar's defense fund. E 144,000%, says Reichardt. Lemon Pie's going with E 144,000 as well. All right, question number 12. The correct answer is C. 65% of the USA Today readers said that they believed that she was guilty after the first trial. 65%. Duggar is slimy. Yes, he is. Question number 13. Has Karen Read already hired a publisher and agent to look into a book deal and possible acting career? A, yes. B, no. C, maybe a talent agent only, or D, no opinion, I like Snickers. Question number 13. Has Karen Read already hired a publisher and an agent to look into a book deal and possible acting career? Pippadot has never seen a trial like this. He'll never catch up to Luigi. Luigi is, oh my gosh, the money that has been flowing in for Luigi still. Luigi Mangione. I kind of get it, you know, in some aspects. God knows I've had enough beef with, you know, in my lifetime with insurance companies. And my wife was going through, you know, breast cancer, and she was set to have the surgery for removal of both of her breasts, and they refused to pay for an anesthesiologist or anyone to do anesthesia. And she called them up and she goes, I want to meet the woman who's going to, you know, have this surgery done without an anesthesia. I'm not joking. They denied her anesthesia. You know, we'll cover the surgeon and everything else, but we're not going to cover the anesthesia. And if it wasn't for her work getting involved in the entire situation, and they fought for her, and the insurance company quickly changed their mind. But Digger needs to go under the jail. It happens, Gianna Marie. It happens. I've had the same thing happen with a completely different, you know, insurance company. You know, I was having, you know, a partial reconstruction of my knee, my right knee, and they didn't want to pay for the anesthesia, and they didn't want to pay for the hospital bed. They wanted me to be discharged immediately after having half of my knee removed. I was like, okay, yeah, why don't you come over here and do it? Snickers bars are yum. Sometimes when it comes to those, you know, those decisions, back to, you know, Mangione, people get upset because their medical cases are not even reviewed by a doctor. It's someone who's not even a nurse, or they don't even have to have any experience at all in the medical field. They're just going line of items on the request and saying, no, we can save money here for the insurance company by denying this, without even really knowing what the hell it is. I'll answer that in just a second, Pippadot. Question number 13. The correct answer is B as in boy. She has not hired an agent to look into a book deal or an acting career, but there has been a lot of talk about it online in speculation, because someone noticed that somebody who was sitting in the gallery of her trial, the one that's currently ongoing, is a well-known talent agent with a New York firm. So they are speculating, is she there to possibly sign Karen Read, or is Karen Read already hired her to be her talent agent? But as far as everyone knows at this point, no. But that person was in the gallery watching the trial. How is my knee, asked Pippadot? Better. I wouldn't say it's 100%, because that's never been the case. My doctor for both of my knees is only trying to get me to a certain point, because complete knee replacement, the insurance company can't find a single one that'll do it. They call it a quality of life improvement to do complete knee replacement, and I'm still too young to have it done. So we've just been throwing Band-Aids at it for years. But I mean, we already know, my orthopedic surgeon knew 10 years ago that I have to have it done. But they'd rather spend 60 times the amount, throwing Band-Aids at it until I get old enough, and then do it. All right, moving on. Question number 14. What was the defense's conclusion and argument on how O'Keefe actually died? Was it A, murdered by a guest at the party? B, Alex Cox murdered O'Keefe? C, accident by him caused his death? Or D, aliens from Mars killed him? Question number 14 of 20. What was the defense's conclusion and argument on how O'Keefe actually died? Question number 14. Did an insurance company say you got one good knee to hop home with? Right, Lemon Pie? No. That'd be cool if they would have, though. But back to Mangione, though. That's where a lot of people get the insurance companies dick around with people's lives like that. Yeah, people are going to feel more sympathy for the person who allegedly killed the CEO of United Health, than they are going to feel for like, hey, this guy may have actually done this. And that's why people are giving money, donating money to his defense fund, because insurance companies have dicked over people long enough, and United Healthcare has been fined and sanctioned by the government so many times, but they just keep on doing it. Their track record, of denying claims that are viable, for to keep people's lives, in good health, or denying surgeries that could help relieve any of the pain, or prolong life. They just why don't deny them, because they got to make money for the stockholders. Will, don't see these silly fools know as you get much older, it's harder and longer for us to heal, right? All right, question number 14. What was the defense conclusion argument on how O'Keefe actually died? The answer to question number 14 is A as in apple. They put forth the idea in conclusion that he was murdered by someone else in the house at the after party and then dumped outside in the front. That was their conclusion and their argument. Question number 15. What was the defense's argument about the timeline of events the night O'Keefe was murdered? Was it A, it was illogical, Mr. Spock? B, timeline didn't fit events? C, it showed she was at home? Or D, she didn't account for DST? The state didn't account for DTSD. DST is daylight savings time. The insurance company I worked for asked a judge to change the policy language after our insurer had the policy for years. We've had that happen. Trying to keep our daughter on our insurance while she was in college. They tried to change the wording of the policy to deny our daughter coverage because they said that she wasn't technically a full-time student, because she was a full-time student, but she was taking, what do they call it, work study on top of it. And they saw that on her transcript. They said, she's not in school, but she was already taking a full load of classes. She couldn't fit another class in the day on top of, doing the work study for 4 hours a day. So, but they tried. We were like, well, where would you have liked her to start taking that class? What, before the school opened in the morning? Was she supposed to take it at 3 a.m. to 5 a.m.? When, oh, she's supposed to take it an hour after the school closed for the day because she's there all day long. Yeah, Rykart, Star Trek. It's illogical, Mr. Spock. Question number 15 of 20. What was the defense's argument about the timeline of events the night O'Keefe was murdered? The correct answer is B as in boy. The timeline didn't fit defense. The state had laid out a timeline of how, when, and the certain things had happened in the prosecution of Karen Read, and the defense argued that the timeline didn't fit the actual events, and there was no way that they could have been that precise, going by the car's GPA data in the black box and other things like when O'Keefe should have gotten there. There's no way they could have known all these things and been so precise. So they argued the timeline didn't fit the events. Question number, did you know, guilt or innocent, Karen Read will make money off of the events and murders of O'Keefe. Massachusetts is one of the 9 states that have relaxed the Son of Sam laws and enforcement. In case you're not familiar with the Son of Sam laws, the Son of Sam laws were originally, that's what they're called. There is no actual law that is called the Son of Sam laws. It is all laws that are passed as a blanket statement to call them the Son of Sam laws. But these are laws to stop people from committing crimes and profiting from them. Massachusetts is one of 9 states that has relaxed the actual enforcement of the Son of Sam laws. Why? Because the state has found that they can profit from them as well. That's what it always comes down to. Just like the other 8 states, besides Massachusetts, they have all decided that they can profit from them. Please do not ask me what the other 8 states are. I did not write it down. But I know one of them is the state of Vermont. Oh, 16. Each of the forensic analysis hired by the state has been under fire regarding what by Karen Read's defense team? Is it A, if they read good housekeeping, B, trials they have been part of, C, academic background, or D, if they know Ed Wallace or not? Question number 16 of 20. Each of the forensic analysis hired by the state has been under fire regarding what by Karen Read's defense team? What about Jodi Arias? Yeah. Arias makes a lot of money in prison. She does. She's not the only one, though. Definitely not the only one. And when it comes to, I don't know if this is exactly how Jodi Arias makes money for her paintings, but I'll give you an example of another inmate who sells artwork that he does in prison. He is currently housed in Walla Walla State Penitentiary in the state of Washington. And this is how he makes money off of his. A person who is a third party, the go between the person who wants to purchase it and the artist, he sets up an actual like Cash App or PayPal link or some kind of bank link to with Zelle or whatever it might be, something like that, a digital way for the person to pay for the actual work. You're not buying it directly from the actual inmate themselves. You're purchasing it from the individual who sets up the link, with the understanding that this person is going to take the money and put it on the books of the individual. That's how they get around it. So the artwork is done by this person. This person then hands it. They can't ship it. They hand it off to somebody who comes and visits them, usually the person who is the actual person who is the go-between. They then ship it or take it to the person who actually is buying the artwork, and and then the money ends up on the inmate account or ends up wherever the inmate wants that money to be sent. So there are ways around it, and people have always been doing this. Hell, John Wayne Gacy did this. And that's another example of somebody who does actual paintings like Jodi Arias. Good evening, Broken Justice. All right, question number 16. The correct answer is C. C as in cat. Every one of the forensic experts that have testified have had their academic history and background attacked by the Karen Read defense. How long have you been in this industry? How do you know this? Where's your educational background? What were the expertise of the people who taught your course, the courses you took? How do you know this? Every single one of them. Question number 17. What was the state lead investigator that was late? Who was the state's lead investigator who was later fired? Was it A, Damon Winslow, B, Procter and Gamble, C, Stephen Gamble, or D, Michael Proctor? You know nothing about this case? Apparently Rodcart doesn't know either. That's okay. Maybe you learned something tonight. Who was the state lead investigator that was later fired? Callie Lisa. Lori Vallow? Huh? Question number 17 of 20. Who was the state investigator that was later fired? The situation makes a return. Oh, lemon pie. The situation from the Jersey Shore. Yeah, from the Jersey Shore. Crock butt. All right, question number 17. The correct answer is D, as in dog. Michael Proctor was the state's lead investigator who was later fired. Question number 18. How can Karen Read wear designer outfits every day and always be on point with her hair and makeup with only a budget of $116? Is it A, she shoplifts a lot, B, she shops at Ross, or C, she shops at Burlington, or D, she already owns the outfits? Question number 18 of 20. How can Karen Read wear designer outfits every day and always be on point with her hair and makeup with only a budget of $116? Well, D seems to be a popular one. Are we sure she doesn't shop at Burlington Coat Factory? Huh? Or shops at Ross Dress for Less? She borrows it from Lori Vallow. It's a good one, Red Card. She borrows them from Lori. Yeah, Lori needs them in Arizona, though. I think I saw that the outfits can or are being rented. Interesting. Question number 18 of 20. The correct answer is D. If she is renting outfits, Kitty Coo, they are out. Some of the outfits that she must be wearing, besides the ones that she is wearing in court most of the days, because she was able to bring her outfits to the court, or her attorneys bring them for her if she needs to, and that she is wearing her own outfits. So according to Court TV, she is wearing her own outfits. And if you've watched the trial, the one that is currently going on right now, she's wearing, every day is a new one. Question number 19. What is considered to be the cost of as of April of 2025 for the state to prosecute Karen Read? Is it A, around $2 million, B, between $400,000 and $600,000, C, $240,000, or D, it's not their money, so they don't count it up ever? Sorry, residents of Massachusetts. Question number 19 of 20. What is considered to be the cost as of April of 2025 for the state to prosecute Karen Read? Question number 19 of 20. Probably D. Ouch. It costs a lot of money to put on a defense to charges like this. It's not cheap. Not cheap to defend. It's not cheap to prosecute. Question number 19 of 20. Rackard School, that costs $144,000. It's gotta be. All right, the actual answer, as of April of 2025, the actual cost to prosecute Karen Read is B as in boy, between $400,000 and $600,000 is what they believe the cost is as of April to prosecute Karen Read, $400,000 to $600,000. But by the time it's done, it could easily be well over $1 million to go through it all. Question 20 of 20. If Karen did accidentally hit O'Keefe with the car, what reason did the state say she didn't get out and check on him? Was it A, she wanted to kill him, B, she was mad at him, C, she was paid to kill him, a mob hit, or D, she had to get home to watch Dancing with the Stars? Question number 20 of 20. If Karen Read did accidentally hit O'Keefe with the car, what reason did the state say she didn't get out to check on him? Well, we got lemon pie going with A. We have Kirikou, Wendy, Pippadot, Yana Marie, Ivory Lady, Kyle, and Lisa all going B. Oh, was she mad at O'Keefe? Had to get home to reapply makeup. Right, Cart. Had to get home to watching Dancing with the Stars. There's talk online this morning that the Christies will most likely try to get onto Dancing with the Stars. The Christies, who were just pardoned by Donald Trump. They're already filming their newest, reality TV show within hours of being released from federal prison. But there was talk online today. At least I saw two articles for sure about that they most likely are going to try to get on Dancing with the Stars. Okay, question number 20 of 20. The correct answer is B, as in boy. According to the state, if Karen did, hit O'Keefe with a car, the reason why she never got out to check on him was she was mad at him. And that is why she never got out to check on him. Let's hear from you. Do you think Karen Read is guilty or innocent? Leave your comments on the live or in the comment section if you're watching this after it was live. Do you believe that she is guilty of this crime, or do you think she is being set up and is innocent? I want to hear from you. There is no God. Now I'm sure of it, says Joe Talchi. Trump pardoned Lori Vallow? No. The Christies from reality TV. What is her name? I can never remember the wife's name. The reality TV stars. I don't know about anybody else, and it doesn't really matter. But I always thought that there was something seriously wrong with that guy. Do you think that Karen Read is guilty or innocent? Credits for tonight's work. Amanda Klevick's AP News Service for the photography that I used tonight. Paul D. Monti, trivia question and photos he works for the Associated Press as well, along with Michael Bouter. Another photograph. All the photographs that were used tonight, none of them were paid for. They are all found in the free domain, of the internet. But each and every one of those individuals needs to receive credit for the photographs that they took of her. But Paul has been around for a while, and he's also a subscriber to this channel. He actually sent me one of the trivia questions. But again, they were all used with permission by them, and Paul gave me permission to use his trivia question because he sent it in on purpose, by email. Hey, Bill, why don't you use this? All right, how did you do tonight on tonight's trivia? Again, this is the second week in a row. No, this is not just a rehash like number in the corner. I only knew 11 of the actual questions out of the 20 tonight. 11 of them I knew. There was one that I was really close on. It was almost a 12. I had it broken down between two possible answers. That would have given me a 12, but I only knew 11 for sure. Of the 11 out of the 20 trivia questions. Sneak peek at this week's poll question. Every Monday by 10 a.m., I always post a new trivia question, not a trivia question, a question of the week on the YouTube community tab. You do not have to answer it now. You can ponder it and answer it tomorrow. I say that the question will be up by 10 a.m. Most of the time, they're up by 5 in the morning or 7 in the morning because, well, I don't know how to sleep, so I'm always here. The question of for this week is, should the U.S. justice system bring back compulsory service for military for those convicted of minor crimes in place of jail time? A, yes. B, no. C, maybe, depends on the crime. Or D, no opinion. Did you know that the Smurfs are evil? In case you are not aware of this, up until the mid-1980s, it was pretty common, but even into the 90s, the early 90s, like up to about 92-ish, right in there, if you were a first-time, troublemaker, you got arrested for maybe trespassing or breaking and entering, something like that, and it was your first-time offense. A lot of courts had the discretion of either, saying, look, you want this charge to go away, join the military, and in 6 months from now, we will squash your this completely, and it'll go away. If you go in the military, you pass basic training or whatever. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but they used to be, a compulsory. It's like, okay, you go in the military, we'll get rid of your criminal record. If you honorably serve in the armed services. Should they bring that back? Is basically the question, yes or no? Pippadot loves the Smurfs, but did you know that the Smurfs are evil? If you enjoyed tonight's content, give it a thumbs up or subscribe to stay updated and be part of the community. I'll never promote products that I don't personally use or ask you for your money. But I stand on my own 2 feet. So like, subscribe, and have a great week. Your happiness is in your hands. That is it for tonight's trivia on Karen Read. The chat is still open. Talk about anything. I learned that the Smurfs were evil at a Pentecostal church, says Reichart. There's some really wacky theories about the Smurfs and when it comes to Gargamel and why there's only one female Smurf. We all want to go down a rabbit hole, open up a new browser and put the Smurfs theory or theories about the Smurfs into another tab. You'll be surprised the things that you will find around the Smurfs. Not the movie. I'm talking about the comic itself. You have a great week as well, Purple. And you stay safe out there. And Purple, don't forget, you never know who's going to be standing next to you next. And you never know who's going to be knocking at your door. What's next week's trivia? The Smurfs? No, Joe Tall Chief. Every week, there's always a D to every single question of the week, and I just make up something at random. And just add it's either yes or no. Maybe it depends on the case. That could be a third, but what's going to be the fourth? What's going to be the fourth option? So I just make something up. I like Snickers bars. Let's talk about, cotton candy instead. Did you know that birds aren't real? I'm not kidding. That's an actual documentary you can watch on YouTube. Birds are not real. Reichardt grew up watching the Smurfs. Pippadot, oh, I'd love to do Smurf trivia. But Joe Tallchief, to answer your question, to expand upon that a little bit more, I don't have a trivia subject matter that is finished right now, but I work on 3 or 4 of them at any given time. I might only have 10 for this one or 5 for that one. The other ones I'm close on, maybe I'm at 17 or 18. I only need 1 or 2 more to finish it off. But I'm always working on 3 or 4 constantly. But at each and every one, yeah, I do make mistakes. I made 5 total grammar errors tonight, or spelling errors, in tonight's trivia. That's my bad. But every single question it's got at least 3 sources, and I write down and I document each and every one of the sources for all 20 questions. So that's why I'm working on 3 or 4 at a time, because I might find one here and then add it to that trivia, or to find one here, add it to that one. So that way I'm not just sitting here, all day long trying to find, 20 questions on Jeffrey Dahmer. Not that we just did Jeffrey Dahmer last week. So, but I never know. I have to have trivia night done by Wednesday. I have to, because there's no way with my schedule that I'll have it any other time of the week to do it. Oh, who gifted membership? Scroll up. Well, thank you very much for gifting memberships, 5 memberships tonight, Kitty Q. That was really nice of you. Elizabeth Bollinger, Super Chat Cat. Super Chat Cat, there's a new Taco Podcast episode up right now. Moonlight View and Carly with a Y. Welcome to 411 Now's YouTube channel. I hope that you find the membership beneficial. I mean, it's free, but if you decide that you like it, continue the membership. And that was again Kitty Q. Thank you very much. I actually did this myself. Kitty Q probably remembers this. The other night, I gifted 10 memberships over on Duty Ron's channel, and I got three messages afterwards from people who used to be channel members here. Why didn't I gift them memberships? I'm not kidding. I'm like, what? You, as far as I know, when you gift memberships like Kitty Q just did and I did on Duty Ron, you don't get to decide who gets the actual memberships. It just randomly gives them to people, But yeah, I'm like, wow, okay, I'm sorry that I didn't, pick you out. I didn't even know these people. It's like 5,000 people in the live stream. I didn't know who was all there. I know Kitty Q was there, and a couple others. Reichardt, you love Papa Smurf? But don't feel bad if you don't get a free membership, and you're in the stream. I don't know how YouTube randomly decides who to give them to. I really wish I had the answer to that. I really do, because if I had a way of picking people to give gift memberships to, I'd give them to like Francie, or someone like that who I know hasn't received one. But as far as I know, there's no way to actually pinpoint one person and say, yeah, you get a free membership, because I would. It's random. Oh yeah, it's got to be random. And it's like, like when I'm not complaining, I'm just saying, I'm giving you the real life example of what happened just the other night. I gave away 10 free memberships, to Duty Ron's channel, And then I got messages from people like, hey, why didn't you give me one? I was like, that's not how it works. I can't do it. I would if I could. YouTube has its favorites. I've I've gotten I'm not joking. There is a YouTube channel that I follow, and I have never paid for an actual channel membership of that channel. And every time that I'm there, like, before the month runs out, and I'll be there and somebody will gift like another 5 of them or whatever, I just seem to get picked. And I 90% of the time, I never comment or anything on the actual lives. I just watch it because I enjoy the content. I'll be working on something else and listening to it because it's one of those things where you don't necessarily visually have to see what's going on. You can hear it and follow along in that aspect. But I just keep on getting channel memberships, free ones from it. I don't know if everybody else is a paid one and I'm just there, and one of the few people who isn't paying. But I'm pretty sure I have never paid for a membership. There's a setting that'll you have to flip on. Yeah, you have to opt into gifts. That is true, Callie Lisa. You definitely have to opt in. If you're not opted into, to receive gifts, then you definitely will never get one. That is true. That's a good point, Callie Lisa. Just so you know, when you flip that switch to opt in, you could receive a gift membership from any channel you were subscribed to. I did not know that. But that is a very good point, though, to make sure that, for all those out there who've never gotten one, you have to opt into it. I think you have to click like the 3 little dots. I'm not 100% sure myself. Like if you're going to, do a super chat or whatever, but in there, I think there's like opt in thing for gifting. But I don't know if I've ever really done that with every channel myself. I tell you the channel that I keep on getting gift memberships to, but I don't need anybody else, hating on the fact that I keep on getting them over and over again. You don't even have to be live to receive them, huh? Mostly because you've chatted there, but I was recently gifted a membership that I never commented at. Huh. Now, I think it's weird. I think that people should be able to, if you're going to gift memberships, you should either say you're going to give these away randomly, or just give them away to, like, hey, here's somebody who, I want to gift the membership to. You should be able to do that. But that's just me. I mean, I just hope that whoever gets, is gifted a channel membership, that they'll actually use it. For my channel, there are, well over a couple hundred different videos and streams that are just for channel members. And I'm lucky if most of them get 10 to 15 views, because a lot of channel members don't ever actually click on the tab for channel member only videos. And when you become a member, it tells you that there's a channel members only and all the perks for different levels when you become a member. So I always comment because I can't shut up. There's nothing wrong with that, Joe Tall Chief. Nothing at all. No, nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. I'd rather have the interaction and listen. Yeah, but the thing, that's just one of those things with YouTube. And like a lot of them, like, the notification system doesn't always work. Why? Why can't you, if they say that if you turn notifications off on one device, it turns it off for every device that you may have. Okay, that's ridiculous. What if you have a phone and you can't have it blowing up all day long because you follow 300 different YouTube channels? Could you imagine getting 300 notifications a day? I mean, I probably follow 125 channels, but I don't get anywhere near 125 notifications a day. You know, I might get 50 in a week. You know, we know that notification system doesn't work. That's why, you know, I tell people, you want to know when I'm going live, trivia night or Saturday mornings, or when I'm going to put out new content, just put a sticky note, write it down next to the device you're going to watch on. Because the live streams on Saturdays and Sundays are always at the same time. 8 a.m. Saturday morning, 4 p.m., you know, on Pacific Coast time, PST, you know, for Sunday. That a lot of creators I like, but I don't even look at their chat. You like the mic? Kylie's, thank you. It is old school. Lisa, this mic was made in 1953, and I actually paid a company. They have retro ones like this, but they're made out of plastic. This one's made out of, I think it's like an anodized steel or some kind of like metal. It's metal, but I had an entire other microphone. So they took this one apart and they put another mic. Well, you can't see it right there. It's over my shoulder. The gold one. I had them take one of those mics and put it inside of this. So they did a little bit of extra. They did better wiring in there and stuff like that, you know, than what was on the other one. I know the company that does that. They work with Pyle and Rockford Fosgate. They're a repair company, but that's what they basically work with is Pyle Electronics and Rockford Fosgate. But I know a couple people who work there. I know one guy kind of sort of like he's like a friend of a friend. It works good though. It does exactly what I want, and it's the style that I wanted. Because I'm kind of old school. Because I'm old. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up tonight's trivia night. I want to thank everyone again for being here tonight with me for trivia night. And I hope that, you know, to see each and every one of you back here next week for trivia night. Again, if you like this on the way out, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, and if you're watching afterwards, give it a thumbs down or a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Do all those YouTube-y things that they say you should do. But in the meantime, everyone, you have a terrific week ahead. And stay safe out there. And as Purple always wants us to know, you never know who's going to be standing next to you next. And you never know who's going to be knocking at your door. Bye.